Ham Utd Chat live for their build-up show, which usually mean lineups are 5 minutes away, but they're not, they're 10. We've gone a little bit early tonight because Gonzo's missing on the preview, so I want to pick his brain, get his thoughts prior to seeing the lineup, which may or may not change his mind. Coming up in tonight's show, we'll be taking a look at the lineups at 7 o'clock, giving our final thoughts and stuff, and also the FA Cup draw, which means there's going to be balls. Balls are getting felt.
Huh?
Are you ready for some balls, Gonzo?
Always.
Anyway, how are you feeling, Gonzo? We could go fifth. We could go fifth if we win.
Yeah. This is another acid test. So we now find out again. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, the third finding out game in a row. But the real big one is, I'm not going to carry this on forever, by the way. I do think there is a finite finishing point to it, and that is the Manchester United game. And I know we're going to talk about that before we do the Manchester United game, but I do feel at that point, if we would then find out everything that we need to find out about ourselves. But now is a slightly different test, because Fulham, of course, were a team. Whilst I think Scott Parker tries to play nice football, they weren't a team necessarily that had plenty of good players. There were some that played in the Premier League, and there were a lot of Championship players and some untested players. Sheffield United, you could say the same about them, but also Sheffield United not an attacking team. So now we play an attacking team that's spent some money and has good players like Grealish, like Watkins. As I understand it, Barkley won't be playing, which is a good thing for us. So somebody that I wanted us to sign, to be perfectly honest with you. And they've got good players, some really good players. So now's a different kind of test. They can beat anyone on their day, and they've shown that they can beat anyone on their day. Not only can they beat anyone on their day, they can thrash anyone on their day. But they are inconsistent, and I think this is a real... If they can continue to play in the way that they have, but we can continue to be steady eddies, which is what we've been, we're going to find out an awful lot about ourselves today.
Do you know what's weird? I'm more confident for the Man United game than this one. I think we'll beat Man U. I'm not sure about tonight, but I actually think I'm calling it now. We're going to beat Man U, but tonight, I don't know why. I'm not so sure. We'll get the lineups just over 5 minutes. There's a rumour that there's one change to the starting 11, just a rumour. But we'll get to that in a second. But were you expecting an unchanged David Moyes team for tonight?
I was, yeah. Got me thinking now, and probably the chat, unless they've got the same sources as you. I think we don't know what Aston Villa team are going to turn up today. But I think we do know what West Ham team are going to turn up, albeit minus one player. We know what to expect from West Ham. I think we know what we're going to get. And that's cool. I'm pretty happy with that, actually, because for too many years, we've sort of tuned in not knowing what we were going to get. We know what will happen today. I think we know what formation it will be. Unless I'm proved wrong in the next couple of minutes. Aston Villa could be brilliant, or they could just not manage to open us up at all. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens on that one. Sorry, what was your question again?
It wasn't really a question. Just were you expecting David Moyes to go with the same 11 for the third game in a row, fourth game? I was obviously that's something to change. I will have a little speculate if I may, because I don't know. He's either, I'm going to mention four things, but we're throw enough stuff at the wall. Some of it will stick. He's either changed formation, which I don't think he will do, or he is changing. I don't think he's going to do the old fornicator for Ben Rama one, which is what we may want. So it's either Antonio for Sebastian Haller. I think possibly not, actually. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm not sure. I just think Haller made it a little bit difficult for him. I think the easy way out for Moyes is not to start Antonio, to start with Haller and then bring Antonio off the bench. I reckon possibly centre-back. I reckon maybe he's done. Maybe he's doing something sneaky at centre-half. He's not going to do that, though, is he? With 2 clean sheets on the bounce, he's not going to do it. My confidence or optimism for this game relies on Villa's team, actually, not West Ham's, because you know what you're getting. Whether he changes Antonio for Ali or Ben Rama for Bowen, my confidence isn't not going to move too much, to be honest with you. It's not like for like players, but the information changes and stays the same and stuff. I'm looking at Dean Smith and saying, what are you going to do with Ross Barkley here? Ross Barkley's out, so what are you going to do now? I think he's got 2 options. I think he either brings in Traoré and moves Grealish into the middle. Then I think we're going to get beat, because I think we struggle
with players that play in that little space behind our midfield and in front of our defence. Harry Kane kept dropping in there. We hadn't a Scooby what to do. Rice and Solskjaer occupied with the usual central midfielders, and when Kane came deep, you could see Bonner was trying to go with him sometimes, but when he does that, you leave a massive hole. Or Balbuena would often jump out, and as we know, Balbuena's gaping hole. So if he goes with Traore, I'm going to worry a little bit. However, I think he's going to go. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Is it Houlihan? Is that how you pronounce his name? The Irishman.
Houlihan.
No, not Houlihan. That's Norwich City's.
I don't know.
He's retired. Is he not retired?
Hooligan.
Did Houlihan not go out to Australia or something? I think he might even be retired.
No, I don't even know what name you're trying to say.
Connor Houlihan, I think. It's spelled Houra or I, then the other one, N-E.
Hornigren.
He's one of the best set-piece takers in the league. He's one of the best corner and free-kick takers in the league. If he goes with him, I'll be confident, because then he's going to switch to like a 4-3-3. Grealish will stay out in the left. But I fancy us, actually. I want to see Grealish on the left, because I think we'll be a bit congested out there. I think we'll double up with Sofal and Balbuena. I think they'll both take care of him. And to be honest with you, I think they'll kick him. Especially Sofal. I think Sofal will just continuously kick Jack Grealish. And while I think he's a top player, Grealish, he does get a little bit... He does allow the opponent players to go to his head and stuff. So I don't know how you pronounce it. Forshis is putting up the spelling of it, but I know that full. But
I think it is Hornigren.
Okay, we'll call him that Hornigran.
Hornigran, yeah.
Alright, we'll go with that. I think I know what the phrase for the bet giveaway is going to be.
You're absolutely right. It's already done.
Jason, someone's tried to pronounce it for me. It says Hurayan. Maybe that's it. Maybe that does sound alright.
Definitely the way I said it.
I know you spell it. Anyway, people like Hornigran.
Of course they do.
They think Hornigran. And before you see the lineups, though, how optimistic are you feeling? You feeling confident, nervous? Oh, there's a lot of nerves on social media today. I think a lot of people are starting to feel that we could go fifth, if you like.
Yeah, I can't quite allow myself to believe that, and because I've not allowed myself to believe that, I'm not actually that nervous. But I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sitting down with me 2 crunchy bars and watching the football, so to speak. I'm on Traore, by the way, as Bertrand Traore. He used to play for Chelsea, I believe. It's not actually happened for him as yet. Fantastically skillful. He's as skillful as anyone, by the way, that kid. So, I would rather he didn't play, because at some point he's gonna come good. Confident. So. Yeah. I'm not lacking in confidence. I don't think that Villa aren't going to come over and do us. They could beat us. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not quaking in my boots at the thought of it. That's for sure. I think we could quite easily beat them with a couple of goal set pieces. Literally anything can happen within the margins of a tight scoreline on this one. I don't think there's an awful lot between the teams, Gio, to be honest with you. I think they play better football than us. I think they've got maybe a few more flair players than we have, but I think our defence we're better organised and got a better defence than them. So I don't think there's a lot between the teams.
I'm going to ask you, if we win, can we discuss European football?
Well, you and me can discuss it any time we want, mate. That's never stopped us, mate. This sort of feeds into what I was saying. I think then you have to. But what I was saying about the Man U game, Man U have won their last 8 games away from home. Now that's form. That is just form. There's no doubt about it. Regardless of what you feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or anyone else, that's form. If we do go up into 5th and then we don't get trounced by Man U, or we hold Man U to a draw, or we do something, we get a little better than anybody else has done against them, then I think you've got to start saying, okay, yeah, we can. If as long as we don't suffer a bad injury to a key player, and a key player would be Ogbonna or Declan Rice or somebody like that, then I think you have to say yes, that the team is that well organised. They run and they fight and they don't. The running stats are off the chart for West Ham. We're fit as fiddles at the moment, and that's got to stand for something, mate. So yeah, I think we probably could.
Anyway, if we win, we'll do a video about European football later on in the week. But for now, we've got the starting 11 for you with one change. Fabianski continues in goal with a back three of Balbuena, Ogbonna and Aaron Creswell. With the wing backs of Sufal and Arthur Masuaku. Declan Rice continues to partner Thomas Soucek in the middle with Fornals and Bowen playing in behind Mikel Antonio. The beast is back and he's up front.
Ruthless. Fair enough, mate. We attack more when Antonio plays. I absolutely enjoy watching us play more when Antonio plays because we transition more quickly. We counter attack better, and counter attacking is what we do. That's going to make it a lot more difficult for Aston Villa. I personally think Antonio's probably fit in the last game. Now he's going to be fighting fit and raring to go. He's going to be a complete pain in the arse for them. He'd probably pull more to the left and to the right, so Mings is their best defender, but he seems to operate more on the left of their defence, even though he's central, but he sort of seems to take a more left position. So who's our other centre back then?
Konsa.
Sorry?
I haven't seen the lineups, it's usually Konsa.
Yeah, I think he'll be going against him a little bit more. He'd have to be careful, otherwise he might have a sort of Connor Cody situation going on there with him. So yeah, this is good news for West Ham. It's a bit harsh, a bit ruthless, but David Moyes gets paid. I mean, this is funny, isn't it? This is how it's funny how this is why Haller has no future at West Ham, by the way, because it's funny how he's willing to say to people, you play well, you do your job, you keep the shirt. He does it with Balbuena, he does it with the right back, Sufal, he does it with Fornals, absolutely, all of that stuff. However, those same rules don't apply to Sebastian Haller, and that's because Sebastian Haller is not his type of player. That's why we're getting another striker in January. That's why Sebastian Haller won't be staying at West Ham for very much longer. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, in the preview I was saying like Moyes couldn't do wrong for this one, and I think in a way it's true, but I also think Moyes couldn't do right as well. I can understand why he's done it, but now I've seen the team, I feel a bit sorry for Sebastian Haller. How's this bloke meant to continue West Ham? If we're losing today and Moyes and Sebastian Haller, come on mate, on you come. It wouldn't be Spy Valley. I thought, you've taken a piss, mate. Are you being serious? Why am I not starting? Now look what's happened, kind of thing. And I just think this guy's motivation and confidence must be pretty low at the moment. I feel a bit sorry for him, but like I said, I can understand why he's done the change. But it's risky from Moyes, actually. You call it ruthless, I agree with that, but I think it's also risky. We lose and Antonio doesn't play well. Moyes has almost sharpened the own knife, the knife to be thrown at him a little bit. Whereas if he'd stuck with the team after the last two wins and it didn't quite work out, put Antonio in, I think he gets a little bit of leeway there. Saying, well, he's stuck with a winning team, you've got to give him but he's made a ruthless change. However, if it works, he's going to look like a genius. I do think, though, that I was very 50-50 on Antonio and Haller. I think Haller possibly deserved to stay in to an extent, but also my rule of thumb for players that get injured is they're not dropped. Antonio wasn't dropped. That's a key factor for me. But the thing is here, you can't create this rule because Ryan Fredericks got injured and then Sufal come in. When Fredericks is fit again, he didn't get back into the team. It's like, sorry, this guy's doing well. But now we've got the same situation up front. But it's like, well, I'm ignoring that rule I created earlier on in the season. I've gone with this one. But at the same time, I don't know. I can understand why he's done it. We'll wait and see. He will only know in hindsight if this was the right decision or not.
Well, that's your rule, Gio. Without being funny, that's you projecting what you think's probably happening on there. It's quite plausible that David Moyes doesn't have a rule. David Moyes just does what David Moyes wants to do, and in this instance, he just prefers Mikel Antonio. And I think it probably does highlight quite a lot about how he feels about the squad. I think what you're spot on with what you said about Fredericks, because Fredericks did get injured. Because up until that point, I thought Fredericks was arguably our best player. So maybe he just doesn't fancy Fredericks. I think, as I've mentioned it before, we saw that with Ngakia. He didn't fancy Fredericks.
I agree with that, and I don't think he fancies Haller either.
No. So this is all it is.
The bench for West Ham, before we take a look at the Villa team, just to confirm, Sebastian Haller is on the bench. We've got Dan Randolph, Ben Johnson, Issa Diop, Mark Noble, Manuel Lanzini, Saeed Benrahma and Sebastian Haller. So no Robert Snodgrass for the bench. He's the notable person that misses out. And then moving on to the Villa team, once this app loads up, the Villa lineup, we've got As expected, Mr. Gonzo, we've got Martinez continues in goal, the usual back four of Konsa and Mings in centre backs with Cash and Target to the side of him. Douglas Luiz starts in sitting midfield role with John McGinn and Granny Shagger. What do we call him? Call him
Horny Gran.
Yeah. Urian. Connor Urian, the Irish guy. Connor Urian and John McGinn starting centre midfield with Jack Grealish and Trezeguet taking up the wings with Ollie Watkins through the middle. Expected 11 for Aston Villa as well.
I guess so. Yeah, you're the expert on that one, Gio. I mean, Matty Cash, really good player, by the way. So that's going to be interesting. Masuaku, I think, up against him. He's going to have his work cut out because, as I say, Antonio will be drifting over there as well. Fornell's cutting inside, maybe dropping deep a little bit to help out the two in midfield. I really like Mings, by the way. Obviously, I didn't do the preview. I probably should say I like the way he plays, but also like him as a character. I like he has leadership qualities. I think he's no nonsense. And ever since I saw him shouting at his own player and getting his own player by the scruff of the neck, I think it might have been start of last season, quite possibly. I thought, hello, he's got something about him here. He's a real leader. I think it takes a lot of character to be signed by Bournemouth as the next big thing for it not to work out. And he was signed from Ipswich, as I remember it, as a fullback. Didn't work out, and then go out on loan and reinvent yourself, and then to actually turn yourself into a £20 million player and go a second time after an injury as well. That's a lot of character going on there to get drops, to get injured, and then come back. So there's we often talk about Rice's mental fortitude. This boy Mings has got it in bucket loads, by the way. So good player. They got some good players. Grealish, as everyone knows, I speak about Grealish all the time. I've liked him for years, really. He's a fantastic player, and it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. But we've got some good players too.
I'm slightly more pleased to see this Aston Villa than the one potentially with Traore starting and Jack Grealish almost in like a free role, which is what they played in the second half against Brighton last week. And to be fair, I think it did affect. Sorry, I'm just putting a little bet on here. I need to get it on. It's time sensitive.
Card for Soufal?
No, it's a request a bet for the West Ham games. There's a lot of components going on in it. I'm slightly pleased to see this one, but John McGinn will now have probably a slightly more advanced role than what he would have had with Ross Barkley in the team, because now he's got Horny Gran in behind him.
Lovely. Who hasn't?
Wayne Rooney loves it, apparently.
Exactly. Pays for the privilege.
So, Louise and Horny Gran in behind John McGinn, should mean that John McGinn's probably got more of a free role to run at our defence a little bit for this one, so I'd expect a few long shots from him today. But we need to get a grip of Jack Grealish. I want to see consistent fouling in on him. I really do. I remember watching them play Southampton last season, and they were probably the best team I've seen handle Jack Grealish over 90 minutes. They literally took turns to foul Jack Grealish, and you can see Grealish in the referee. Like, come on, where's my book? Start booking the players, and you can see the referee saying he's only done one foul though. But Jack Grealish says, yeah, but this is like the 8th time I've been fouled, you know. But,
and he has a point. Jack
yeah, but so does the referee though. That's only his first foul though. Why am I booking that player? Should I book a player almost for tactical fouling? Possibly. But at the same time, possibly not. So we've got to come up with something to stop Jack Grealish, and that's got to be Soufal's he's going to have to be on it today. I'm a bit more optimistic after seeing that lineup, actually, the Villa lineup, that is. And to be honest, seeing ours as well, I think Antonio's a bit more dangerous throughout 90 minutes than Sebastian Aller. His movement and stuff just gives us a bit more options. While I don't necessarily agree that Aller should have been dropped, I think we're probably a better team with Antonio than we are without Mikel. Are you ready to do a little bet?
Definitely.
Now, for you that don't know this, join us in the live chat. You need to be subscribed to the channel, drop a like on the video. What we're going to do is we're going to piece together a little bet on Bet365 right now. And then Gonzo's thinking of a phrase. I think we know what the phrase is going to be.
We know the phrase.
Once we've done the bet, we will ask you to put the phrase in the live chat. You pop it in there, entered. If the bet wins, we give one of you the money. We've come close a few times, actually. So today, what are you fancying, Gonzo? What are we putting in a little bet tonight?
Balbuena cars?
Balbuena to get booked. I've missed him. He's not that far down. Right, okay, in he goes. Right, what are you fancying? West Ham to... You fancying us to win or draw, or what are you thinking?
let's go for a win. Let's have a win. Let's be positive here.
Right, West Ham win. I think we're going to have to put Antonio to score. We're going to have to put him in to score a goal.
Yeah, do that.
Get the. And then I think we're going to have to go. I fancy over. If we're going for the win, I think it's feasible. Villa are going to have at least 5 corners. If we're winning, they're going to attack more. Therefore, get more corners, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
We need something else. That's only 22-1. I want something a bit meatier.
Shots on target. West Ham shots on target.
You can't do that on Bet365.
You can't. What's wrong with them?
We need another card or West. I'll tell you what then. Let's do.
Well, hold on. Grealish is the most fouled player in the history of the universe,
yes,
as I understand
it.
So let's go Sue Foul for a card as well then.
Okay, 80-1 for that. We're doing it.
Wow.
There we go. Right, so if Balbuena and Soufal both get booked, consistent foul, and taking the terms to boot Jack Grealish into Rose End, or to the side of the running track, maybe the second lane of the running track.
You never reach it.
No, maybe the second lane of the running track might give him a really big kick. He might just reach it. Now we've got West Ham to win the game, Antonio to score, and Villa to get at least 5 corners, right? The phrase will come up in a second. Someone might win 400 quid. If that wins, someone's getting £400 cash. To enter in the live chat, put the phrase
Horny Granny.
Horny Granny. Put Horny Granny in the live chat. If all that happens, someone's getting £400 cash. A lot of Villa fans joining us. Jack Grealish is amazing.
Everybody wondering why the phrase is that.
We love Jack Grealish. Can you drop a like on the video? We love Jack Grealish.
I said nice things about Tyrone Mings.
Yeah. Rewind a little bit for the praise from Villa. Can I get start to get your final thoughts, Gonzo?
Yeah, just two good teams. Two teams maybe at the start before I know Villa did some spending. 2 teams before the start of the transfer window at the end of last season. Was our last game, end of last season, wasn't it, of course? 2 teams that other clubs might have looked at us and thought, well, Aston Villa and West Ham are going to struggle this season. But it ain't been the case. Neither of us are struggling. We're both good at what we do. We both do different things. Us more defensively, them more attacking flair. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a clash of styles. I think they're going to have a lot of possession. I think they're going to have a lot of attacks. I think we're going to counter-attack an awful lot. Bowen has got a big game to play today, by the way. It's going to be a hard task for him down that side. He probably needs a bit of a game. I know he's going to work hard, but I want to see some crosses from him, an assist or a goal or something coming from his side. And I expect, hopefully, Fornells and that combination of Masuaku down that side can wear down Matty Cash, and then possibly we might get to bring on the old X Factor in Ben Rama to hopefully possibly change the game if we're not already winning before that. It should be interesting, Geo. What channel is it on?
Premier League, I think.
No, what, on Sky?
Yeah.
Oh, right, it's on Sky.
Oh, sorry, Sky Sports Premier League.
Okay. Yeah, lovely. Right, lovely. Good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do tell you what, that may be interesting. I wonder if Ben Rama's looking at Antonio coming into the 11 thinking, hang about, as this geezer getting into the team, I've been sat here working hard and training, I've come on, got a match winning assist and stuff, and I've yet to get a sniff, and this guy, I didn't even get on the pitch the last game, this guy comes back and waltzes into the 11. I wonder if Ben Rama's sitting there with his arms folded a little bit.
I wonder if Ben Rama's for a video for another day, but I wonder if Ben Rama's looking there thinking, this obligation to buy, do I get a say in this? Can we reverse this, please?
I think Bowen and Fornals both need a big game here. I think the last 2 or 3 games, I think we've got a little bit lucky. I think we've been lucky to win the last 2, and at Anfield I thought they were both wasteful of creating opportunities, if you like. So that's 3 games in a row now. I think both of them have been making poor decisions in the final third, and like you said, with Ben Rama sitting there, but also Lanzini. People, I still don't understand why there's no calls for Lanzini to start, because I think he deserves it over the last few games. I thought he looked really good against Sheffield United and stuff. Them two need to buck up their ideas a bit tonight. We need to see them step up a bit more. They work hard, they work their nuts off. No one's disputing that. That's why they're still in the team. Because the one thing Sebastian Haller doesn't do, probably, is work his arse off. And I'm not saying he's lazy. Before someone says, I'm not suggesting that. Me and Gods have never ever said he's lazy. We just say he doesn't run around as much as Antonio. And I think that's why he's possibly part of the reason he's dropped, and the other 2 aren't, because they run around. And it's a trust thing with Moyes. I do think it's a trust thing, hence why Antonio's in, hence why Bowen stays in, hence why Fornals stays in. It's a trust thing. Ben Rama not getting in, he doesn't trust him yet. So it's interesting. Who's the pressure on tonight then? Just quickly, Antonio or Moyes for that change up front?
There's no pressure on Moyes. There's no pressure on Moyes. Honestly, he is. This is really. He's got a free one here. I don't even think the fans expect us to win tonight because the fans.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think in the live chat, I think it's very mixed regarding the Ali and Antonio thing. I think the live chat seems to be a bit.
Yeah, but that's not pressure. That's just fans talking. David Moyes won't feel any pressure. David Moyes has got a loss, 2-3 losses in the bank before he would feel any pressure. I'm sure of that, and I don't think he's feeling any pressure at all. I think the pressure comes if we start to lose. At this point, though, he can puff his chest out and say, "I don't need to play Benrahma. I don't need to play Haller. Look what I'm doing. What I'm doing is right." There's no pressure on him at the moment, and there'll be no pressure on him that he feels himself just because of one result. It just won't.
Just quickly, Charlie and Tom will be live in 5 minutes. We'll get our final thoughts and score prediction. Just before we do, the FA Cup draw for the third round has been completed, and West Ham United are away to Stockport. In the FA Cup. We'll touch on that in another video, but just for those that are watching that don't know, we'll be playing Stockport in January.
I've been to Stockport's ground by the viaducts there. I watched Burnley v Stockport, which was a bit of a derby actually. Saw the worst footballer who played for Burnley that I've ever seen in my life, called Joe Jacobs. Worst professional footballer I've ever seen in my life. By the way, played in that game.
It's the Ian Dowie derby.
Ian Dowie derby.
Yeah, his header.
Ah.
Never mind.
It's a good header.
It was a good header. Right, I wonder if they get him in for the commentary. West Ham probably ringing him up to come do that Irons build-up show or whatever they do on YouTube. Get Ian Dowie in for this one.
We give him a tenner. He can come and join us. I think actually he can pay us.
We'll ask him if he's up for it. Can I get your final thoughts and your score prediction, please, Gonzo?
Oh, okay. Final thoughts are a lot easier. Just excited now. Looking forward to it. Whatever it is, half hour to go, whatever the case may be. I am really looking forward to this, mate. I haven't watched too much of the weekend football, if the truth be known, and I don't mind a Monday game once in a while. I do prefer it at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, of course. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the thing that goes in our favour is the result. The games have been played. You know, it's a game in hand in many respects. We're in 11th now, I believe. If we lose this, we're in 11th. So we can. Well, I was going to say we can only go upwards. We can't plummet down by losing this game. So that's not a bad thing to be. In terms of score, I don't know why, because I do think Villa are very capable of beating us and beating us with skill and flair. But I just think we're going to beat them 2-0.
Interesting. I'm a bit more confident after seeing the Villa line up more than ours. I think Dean Smith's made a mistake here. Actually, I think if I was him, I'd have been looking at Sheffield United and Fulham against us, thinking, hang about, they created opportunities against West Ham. They just didn't have someone good enough to stick the ball in the net. We've got someone good enough to stick the ball in the net. We've got Ollie Watkins up there, who's got a few goals to his name. We've got Grealish in there as well. And I would have maybe come on the front foot a little bit more than what he has, but I can understand why he's been a bit more conventional, if you like. It's good to see these two sides where they are. Like you said, the last game of the last season, we'd only just confirmed Premier League status for another season, and Villa needed to win to stay up. But here we are going into this one where we can throw punches at one another. Basically, it's a free hit for both teams. After a quarter of the season, it's already got to that point where it's like, you know what? Let's just enjoy ourselves, try and play some good football, try and get the 3 points, and if we lose in order to try and win, it's not the end of the world. Of course, one of us could still get dragged in the relegation battle, but going by early season form, you'd be very shocked if either of us were near the bottom come May. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to stick with my 1-1, purely because I'm stubborn, and I think Villa have got enough in them to hurt us and get a goal against us, but I think we've got enough about us as well. So it should be a good game. So Gonzo, I shall see you for the review.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Don't go anywhere. Tom and Charlie are coming right up live with a watch along, so if you can't watch the game or you don't want to watch the game, don't go anywhere. Stick with these boys. They've got a 40-minute pre-match build that will coming up, followed by a 90-minute chat as they watch the game. Myself and Gonzo will be back straight after full time with the review, hopefully celebrating West Ham going 5th in the Premier League. Catch you in a bit.